Well, hello, and welcome back to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host, Tracy.
Hey, y'all.
I love the hair.
Thank you. Shout out to our braider, Miss Yana.
I love how she did the front, the cornrows.
So the reason for the cornrows is because I was like, girl, what can we do that's gonna take less time? Because I had
Um,
things to do yesterday. I had things to do.
okay.
So
Yeah, I get it because that 4 or 5 hours is no joke. Yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting week.
mm-hmm.
Juneteenth was Wednesday. We had that as a federal holiday. Did you enjoy your Wednesday in the middle of the week off?
I really did. And I'm gonna tell you what, people were like, yeah, well, I just took Thursday, Friday off. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Why did I not think of taking Thursday, Friday off?
It was hard going back to work on Thursday for me. I had to be in the office on Thursday.
It was a bit of a struggle because it felt like a Monday or a Friday. Like it
Mhm.
fluctuated between feeling like a Monday and a Friday
So I usually would go to a
when
Juneteenth
on Thursday.
celebration, which I did not on the day. I actually went Saturday to the one we had down at the pedestrian bridge, but I did a beach day because it was what
Mm.
94 here in Providence, but it was 78 degrees in Narragansett. So it was a
So
beautiful day.
that's the thing. Being on that water, it just like gives
Woo.
that calms the heat down a little bit. I actually did do something the day of, and it's something that we've been shouting out on the pod. I've been saying taste of Juneteenth, and I was throwing it out there because honestly it sounded like it was going to be amazing because I knew there was going to be food involved. I didn't realize actually how dope it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Tell us
Be-
about it.
so taste of Juneteenth, essentially it was held at Fresh Green in Providence,
Mm-hmm.
and
Sunset Street.
it's on Valley. Is it on Valley?
Okay.
You know the street that runs straight down and Price Right? Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Fresh Green. I use GPS, so I don't know the names of streets or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it's near my house. So it's inside. It's indoor and outdoor activity,
Okay.
which is what I love about that space.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been to like flea markets and things around there. So what they did for this particular event was they had food trucks and they also had food inside the building. So outside food, and it was everything from Mexican, Dominican, I think there was barbecue, and I want to say there was soul food definitely on the inside because Julia Broom from Kin was representing on the inside with the soul food. And then there were so many other vendors that I wasn't expecting at all to see there.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw our good friend Lisa, comedian Lisa J.
She's
I saw
everywhere.
she is everywhere. She was
She
doing
is
registrations.
everywhere. Mm-hmm.
And it was so cute. They had like a step and repeat when you walked in, so you could take your picture there. And when you walk through, there was everything. They were vending everything you could imagine:
Mm-hmm.
spices, black owned cashew brand company. There was a Jamaican patty truck. Um, I bought fresh shea butter that's sourced from Ghana. What
Mm-hmm.
else did I buy? Girl, you know I was spending. I bought black seed oil,
Now, what do you
elderberry
use
sea moss.
flaxseed oil for?
So it's
I've heard
supposed to
people say
be
that.
like it's supposed to give you vitamins and nutrients and keep you healthy, basically. And I
Mhm.
think it improves gut health too. So I've, heard about it. And during the pandemic, of course, that was like the whole thing. People were trying to figure out how to not get COVID. And if you got COVID, how to stay healthy or, that kind of thing. So black seed oil was a big thing that was going around. Sea moss was a big thing that was going around. So we've kind of just been buying those things ever since the
Mhm.
pandemic. And I just love that it was all these black vendors,
Mhm.
that were selling all these amazing things. The cashew gentleman, actually, he's based out of Grove Hall in Boston.
Oh, get out.
and he had flavors, beautiful packaging.
Mhm.
The shea butter people, they had really nice presentation. Everyone just had, and the networking. I met so many people and ran into so many people. It was great.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, that's good. I know I did want to go, but I got gathered up the grandkids. It was like five of us. No, it was like yeah, it was six of us, and we went to the beach. So it was a good our first beach day, and we were there all day. We got
I
there.
know you said it was packed.
It was super super. I was not expecting it to be that packed. To get into the parking lot was like 20 minutes. And I'm just like, please let there be a parking space because we actually left Providence. We left East Providence at 9:30 to head out there. We got out there about 11 o'clock, but then because the traffic built up so much just from getting off of Point Judas Road, I think that is, and
Hmm.
onto we didn't get our spot and get settled until 12.
So I did Taste of Juneteenth with my sons. We did that together. And then I decided like I had to take, I've been craving like fried clams. I had to have
Mm-hmm.
them. So after Taste of Juneteenth, we went over to Newport and we arrived later in the afternoon, maybe
Mm-hmm.
3, 4 o'clock. No traffic.
I know. I was gonna say perfect. That was perfect.
And like honestly, I don't like to necessarily go to the beach all the time. It's not a thing that I usually do on my own, but I love to drive on the shore when I'm in Newport. So we do like the ocean drive
Mm-hmm.
thing, and I would stop, I would say, "Oh, Elijah, do you want to get out and check out this view or whatever?" He would get out and take photos and
Mm-hmm.
go stand on the shore, and I'd be sitting in the car looking at him like, "Oh, I'm glad he's having a good time."
I am a beach person.
I know you are.
I am
I
a
want to be a
beach
beach person.
person. That is, I think I'm going to invest maybe in this lifetime in some beach property. Because I know everything is out crazy, but I'm just like, I am a totally beach person. I love it. I love taking the kids to the beach. I love being out there. There were some women who were like, older women sitting next to us, like about five or six of them together. And they were like, oh my God, are you having a great day? I'm like, shut up. Because you see me dealing with all these damn kids. You see me dealing with all these damn kids. Y'all were over there kikiing and laughing and having a good single time. They were
But
cracking.
I know the grandkids slept. I know you probably slept like a baby too that night because something about being on the water at the beach. And what's crazy is I grew up like going in the summertime. Our house was walking distance from the
I
beach, and
know, Miss Honduras.
we were at the beach all the time. So I was actually between two bodies of water at our house. There was a river, and then there was the beach on the other
Mhm,
side. So like, oh, just looking out over the porch, the river was right there, and then the
mhm.
beach was on the other side. But there's a difference. Like the beach
Yeah,
here
yeah, totally.
because you could go if you're in Honduras and you go to the beach and you got sand on your feet and whatever, you can hose yourself off in your yard and there's just more sand in the yard. So it's just different. Like, it's just like,
Mhm.
I'm grown now. So I got sand on my feet. I'm trying not to get any of it in my car. I'm trying not to get my seats wet. It's just like the whole thought process of what it takes to go to the beach is just like overwhelming.
Yeah, I don't even think about any of that. I just vacuumed out my car the next day.
Okay.
Because but it wasn't as bad. They
I
don't
need to
they I
do
don't feel
that.
like they track as much as they did when they were younger. And it probably, you know what it is, my mindset is this is what I'm gonna deal with, but this is something I like, so I dealt with it. But going back to Lisa being everywhere. So I
Yes.
was at Juneteenth yesterday at I forget the name of the park, but it's right there at the pedestrian bridge. And
Hmm.
that green space is just so nice, and it was packed. They had a lot of entertainment. They had like they had this gospel group. I tried to go live. I don't know how. I just suck at
I
it
think
really
I
bad.
saw your live with
It's really bad. It was
the
really bad.
gospel group.
But anyway, and Lisa was there, holding down the fort. She is at like every event, and she's just such a pleasant person. I love her. I really.
She is so awesome. And her son John was there too.
Yep, he was. He was there as well. Was he part of security or was he on stage? They had a couple of different acts. Um and they were all really good. And I can't think of the gospel group that sing, but they did a really phenomenal job.
Oh, that sounds
They
pretty
really were
cool.
good. Yeah, and there
It
were a
looked
lot of
like a good
vendors.
time.
There was a lot of food, and it was threatening to rain most of the day because you see how dark it was yesterday, and we had a tornado watch today. Sunday. Today is been a tornado watch until 8 o'clock, actually. But there was a lot of food vendors. Julia was there. Kins was there. I saw your son.
Yes, Noah said he was like, I saw
Yep.
your friend. She was there with her daughter-in-law, and yes, that's little Autumn. Because I pulled up your Instagram. He's like, oh, there's little Autumn. I was like, okay, Noah. He was out there living his best life
He was. He
because
was.
yeah,
So
he
it was
he
it was it was a good day. It was a good day. And I am very impressed with Rhode Island when it has come to Juneteenth. They have done some really fabulous things. But again, we say it all the time. When people say there's nothing to do here, you have to
that's
be
a
in
lie.
because there's a lot. Since summer kicked off.
I honestly am trying to keep up with all the stuff that's going on. There's so much that I want to do around town that it's sometimes it's overwhelming. There's a
Mhm.
lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. There's so, like you said, and what you was talking about on Friday, going to the Black Gilded.
Yes. So Newport in Color, The
Hmm.
Gilded Age, which is an exhibit that's only available at the Rose Cliffs and it's over June 30th. So it's basically Black living the lifestyles of African Americans in Newport from a period of time. It's from the late 1800s to I think the early 1900s. I forgot the exact range, but I was actually trying to go see it last week. So after I left Taste of Juneteenth, I zipped over to Newport and was like, maybe I can get into the museum, but it wasn't available that day because of the Newport Flower Show that was
Hmm.
going on. But yeah, I definitely don't want to miss that. I want to catch it while it's on display.
Yeah, I will definitely try and go with you if you go on Friday, maybe. I don't know.
Whenever we go, we're gonna try to go together.
Sometime this week. But yeah, so the other big thing this week was what? Shout out
Go
to,
Celtics! Go
oh, you
Celtics!
got
Look at
on
my
Blue
green. You see my
Girl.
Kelly Green? Kelly Green. I had
That
to represent.
was an awesome. Well, you know what? Can I say something about Boston fans? When you watch a game now, and it's true when you're there, because my mother said I think that they pump the noise up a little bit more when they do, like, the Boston game, like they manipulate the sound. I'm like, no, we have been there, and it's just that loud when they playing little teams. Talk less of bigger teams.
Yeah.
Boston Celtic fans in the Garden are always on hype 10. Always.
Yes.
They make the game so much more enjoyable. And watching them bring it home after that, like, crazy loss that they had in Dallas, which was BS, because we know they just gave that to y'all.
So there was speculation too because of all the numerology stuff that was they were saying like, the date was 617, which is the main area code in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was something else with the numbers. I think they won the last championship they won in '08 was also on
On six
617.
seven.
So there was a lot of symbolism that was there.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that was all coincidence or if that was deliberate. I just know we whooped that ass last Monday and took no prisoners. And I was in my phone like cue the duck boats in the third quarter, like cue those duck boats. Let's go.
And then the thing is we had someone from Dallas on our podcast last week and failed failed to get that rivalry going.
We
I
listen,
don't know
we were not trying to mess
Coach
with
Chris.
that man's mental health during men's mental health
I'm
month.
hoping he's a Celtic fan.
I don't know. 7 years, maybe, possibly. He did. So it's really funny because people have been approaching me and saying, oh, you must be a Celtics fan. And I can tell the way they're saying it to me that they are not, and they're haters. Because I'm like, people are like, oh, you're from Boston, you're from Rhode Island, you must be a Celtics fan. Like, of course I am. Then somebody at my work had a nerve to put in the team chat, boo Celtics. I was like, oh no, sis. I had to come for her.
Boo what? Boo what? Us winning? Boo
Boo
us?
us. That was before we whipped that ass, and I was even more happy to send her a little gify in the team Slack chat, letting her know, slam dunk in your face, Jason Tatum.
That is so funny. I mean, oh yeah. I mean, Jason Tatum is that guy, but Jalen Brown is that guy.
He is that dude. My daughter loves him. She's
Cause he's
obsessed.
fine. Cause he's
She
fine
is obsessed.
and
And
he's smart.
yes, very smart. Lectured at Harvard. He's taught apparently a class or two at MIT. I'm not saying he did a full semester load, but he's
Mhm.
done some presentations. But he also like got a NASA internship back in the day.
Yeah,
This man is like
he's
brilliant. But we
brilliant.
overall we have a very like sexy team. You got old man Al Horford, who is the first Dominican to win
Yeah,
an NBA championship. They call him Old Man Al.
I
I'm gonna
know, I
call him
know.
Old Man Al too, because he old like us. So and
I was shocked to see that was, but well, you know what? Because you don't see too many Dominicans playing,
not at all.
basketball.
Not
So
playing basketball. Yeah.
when you think of Dominicans, you do think of like baseball more so than
Yes.
anything, but not basketball. So
So
shout out
you
to the
know,
Celtics for that.
Al, Jalen, Kristaps Porzingis came back off injury because they were saying at one point he would be out for 6 to 8 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
he came back, hobbling around, but he did his thing. Um, Tatum, who we can get into the Tatum tea in a minute. Who else do we have on our team that's really good?
Is Tatum teeth?
Drew Holiday, amazing
Mm-hmm.
performance from Drew Holiday. Love him. Love the spelling of his name too. Very cute. Jrue. I was like, if I have another baby,
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna steal that name.
Girl, good luck with that.
When I have my miracle baby, I'm gonna steal that name.
Mm.
But we just have a really beautiful team, and we have an amazing coach who happens to be from
Johnston, Johnston, Rhode Island, which
Johnston,
one
Rhode
day
Island.
who was it that brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't even realize that he was from Rhode Island. I wasn't paying the coach any
Oh,
attention.
I knew that. So
Yeah, so it was you who said it to me.
when we lost Emi Udoka because of the whole sex
Mhm.
scandal with the internal sleeping with the lady, blah blah blah. And
Okay.
he came on because I was like, who are we going to get for a coach now? Because I'm like, we had Doc, who was amazing. And
Mhm.
then, I think in between we have Brad Stevenson,
Mhm.
whatever. He's in the head office doing his thing where he
Mhm.
should be at right now. And then I was like, who can we get? Because I thought Ime was doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he
Um,
was.
and so when they brought out Joe Mazzulla, I'm like, I don't know this man. And I don't think he actually played professional
No, I
basketball.
don't think so either. His father played professional
Right.
basketball, and he played college.
Yeah. He
But it
played
just
college.
like he went straight from college to like basketball, association teams. Like he's been an assistant coach for a couple of colleges, and then he became an assistant coach in 2019 for the Celtics.
And he broke a record with this win. So since Bill Russell, he's the youngest coach to win an NBA championship.
35,
Yeah.
35.
And
So
he's so serious. Like I feel like he's just so,
everybody says that.
but I think that maybe what makes him a good coach is that, and I
Mhm.
don't want to compare him to Belichick because I have my thoughts about Belichick, but he's kind of in that way, very like emotions are kind of you're not really always sure what he's thinking. He's hard
Mhm,
to read,
mhm,
and he
mhm,
just almost seems like he is so laser focused that all this man is thinking about is coaching this team. Like you don't feel like he's thinking about anything else. It almost seems like this is his life. And I know he has a life outside. He's actually married
mhm,
um and things like that, but I'm sure that this is really important to him. But I loved seeing them take their flights out to Miami, take their families. I'm guessing they went to Disney or whatever, the whole team. That was really, really nice to see.
mhm.
And then we had our parade on Friday. We queued up on duck boats.
I know. have serious FOMO because I was on the fence going back and forth if I wanted to go. But you know what was my final decision in not going? It was when the 911 call center went down in Massachusetts. Like the whole
Insane.
state for 2 hours. How does 911 go down for two? And they were like, "Oh, if it's an emergency, call your local, fire department." Who knows that? If I'm getting, I was
Right.
just like, you know
That
what?
was
I
that
don't know
was
what y'all are doing.
bonkers.
I
And
don't know
and
what y'all are
and
doing, so I'm gonna stay home.
and it was barely like a blip on anybody's radar. I happened to get a text, I think about it, from the
Oh, I got
city because
crazy text.
I get texts from the city of Boston and I share them because, I've got the Mommy Nieces group on Facebook. So I make sure I keep my moms, informed and things like
Mhm.
that. So I wanted them to know like this system is down. And so that basically was, only because I got that text. But I'm like, that is insane. A lot can happen in 2 hours.
Please, and I'm like, so what was I wasn't trying to get into the conspiracy crap. I don't like that. But they're always talking about like if you want to mess with America, you mess with the grid. That's part of the grid.
Yeah.
And that was and only because of earlier that day I had went to the big post office on Corliss Street in Providence,
Shout
and
outs to the Corliss Post
man,
Office. That is my
they were
favorite.
down because the electricity had went out. So they
What?
had fire trucks and everything out there. And so I'm like, okay, so earlier I get the post office is down. And then a couple of
Mm.
hours later, the grid is, I mean, not the grid, but the 911
911.
calling
I
center
can
is
see how that
down.
could make you feel a little
I was
nervous.
just
All
like,
the Fed stuff, like, yeah, that's a little.
that was suspect to me. But you brought up a name, and I just have to ask your opinion on this. And this is messy.
Okay.
Bill Belichick, 72,
Oh, I saw that.
dating the 24-year-old girl.
What
Thoughts?
could
I'm
she
like,
possibly want with him besides his? What on earth would a 24-year-old woman want with Bill Belichick other than his Bill Belichick's? Nothing.
she said it's Bill Belichick. But
He's so gross. And
that
it's
is
not
so
even about
good.
his age. He just looks gross.
It is about his age. That could be your granddaughter. That is somebody's granddaughter.
This is the same man that really gave his daughter what I consider to be a little bit inappropriate kiss on the mouth. I don't know
Oh
if you
no.
remember that. This is like years
No, I
ago. I
do
think it
not.
was one of his Super Bowl wins. You can Google. This picture has been out here for a long time. So don't try to say it was AI. It was before we were even thinking about AI. It was some win that he had, like a big win he had, and he kissed his daughter on the mouth, which that's not even the problem. Because sometimes parents kiss their kids on the mouth. After a
Mhm.
certain age, I stopped doing that with my children.
Yeah, me
But
too.
it was too long. It was uncomfortably long.
Mm, um, mm,
He's a nasty man to me. So he definitely don't need
uh,
to be with a 24-year-old girl. He should have a
yeah,
little more self-respect than that.
yeah. I mean, I
But
had
you
this
know what? Go ahead,
conversation,
sis. Go off, sis. Take him to the cleaners. Go ahead.
and I mean, she's getting every. He probably pays for where she lives. I'm pretty sure he funds everything that she does. I mean, 24. I mean, why couldn't he be 34 or 44? I probably wouldn't feel as gross.
Because he probably doesn't want a woman like that, and a grown ass woman probably wouldn't want his old ass like that. So he had to go with somebody who obviously needed that father figure or that fun that resource.
But he's not like a I mean, he's big. He's not like a sloppy old man that he can't get a good woman his age. I mean, and there are plenty of women who are like 40 and up that would love to date him.
I
They
don't know.
No, there definitely is. There definitely is. He could have his pick, just like he got his pick with this 24-year-old girl. He could have his pick. There is plenty of white women out there, white women, Hispanic women, all types of women that would definitely go after him because he look at
I
Kraft.
guess.
craft. He got his a lineup for him as well. And I think I had this conversation just a little bit ago about a price tag, like, what the number is that make you actually just commit or do something. He has that money, and they know that the women are not there necessarily for their looks. They know they're not there for their looks. They know
Hmm.
they're not there for their personality. They know that they are there to lay down next to them for that money. They know, he knows that.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of women who he could make it look better for himself if he chose somebody older, but he doesn't give a fuck. And you know what, the world doesn't really care. It's his business. She grown, she can do whatever she want to, obviously. I just look at it and I'm just like, that's nasty.
It's just, if honestly, I just not that guy. I mean, I don't know who's an older guy that I would co-sign doing it. I just
Just think about your daughter. Would you
it's
want
too
a
big
70
of an
year
age
old man?
difference.
It is. What do you, oh,
What are y'all talking about? What can this 24-year-old, I don't care how intellectual she is, I don't care how book smart, whatever she probably is,
and he
what
don't care about none of that.
deep conversations are you having with this woman? None. You just want someone who looks cute in a little mini dress to go to the Tom Brady roast or whatever the hell. I don't know.
It was just
Anyways,
like that guy who was dating Kamora Lee Simmons'
yeah.
daughter. Just as is right on that same level. Anyway, that was a little bit off the cuff. We wasn't supposed to talk about that, but you
No,
brought
we
that
were
man
not
to
talking
mind,
about that man, that
and I
nasty
wanted to
man.
talk about that for just a second. So anyway,
But I mean, it's out here happening, and like I said, Cher is out here dating somebody's baby too. So money talks.
how old is? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot, and I think Madonna's doing it too.
Oh, always, always. She's like 68, maybe. She might be 70. Is she 70 now?
Madonna, no, she can't be my mother's age. Like my mother's like 75. I don't think
She's
Madonna's that old.
she's not 75, but she's like this close to 70, if not 70 already.
Really?
She's pretty close.
No. Wait, let me look this up.
Yeah, girl, Google it. Google
Oh,
it. Wow. So, what else? The parade. So I didn't go to the parade, and I was in Boston.
she's
So
65.
okay, 65. Not so. Yeah, that's, and her boyfriends tend to be like 27,
Oh God.
28, 27.
It must be hard as hell being a celebrity in Hollywood because I'm looking at, wow, this is bad. Her face looks bad.
She's a
You
65-year-old lady.
know, but if she just went with 65, she would probably look a lot better. Like embraced it a little bit more than this picture.
That's because she got a lot of fillers in that. That was when she got a bunch of fillers, and she had gotten her BBL, which was horrible. And I'm like, Madonna has so much money. Girl, like call someone who has like the good filler doctor or the good booty doctor, but I don't know where she was getting her stuff done. It was not giving. And Madonna is a queen. Like by all, like please, Madonna fans don't come for me. Like
Look
Madonna
at
is
her.
she is the shit, but she's not aging well. And then the stuff she's doing to
Because
counteract it is just making it worse.
and I think and that's what I, and that's my point. I think if she had stopped and maybe just let some of it just be natural, she would look a whole lot better. And I
Like look
always
at
Jamie Lee Curtis. I always go to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie
She
Lee,
looks
Sigourney Weaver,
fabulous.
Glenn Close. What's the other one? Not Glenn Close. What's the other one? Meryl Streep. Like these women, even Nicole Kidman. Nicole's getting a little long in the tooth, and starting to get her little
The
wrinkles are
work
coming
though.
in, but they don't look bad on her.
I mean, look at you can't really tell from this picture, but
Jamie
there's a
Lee
lot
looks
of
freaking
wrinkles,
fantastic. But you know
a
what?
lot of
That's
wrinkles in here, but she
that's
looks good.
because she drinks water and minds her business. That's why she looks so good.
She does. I mean, she looks good. I gotta give it to her. A lot of wrinkles you see, but it's like she looks good. She
Yeah,
looks
she
good.
does.
So I don't, and I think she is. She's oh damn, she's 65 too. She's
Okay.
65 as well.
Everybody can't be Angela Bassett. I'm sorry.
No,
And
no,
have
no.
a
I'm
very
saying she looks a good 65. That's
Yeah.
a good 65
Yeah.
compared to Madonna's 65.
I didn't realize they were the same age. That
I
is
didn't
wild to
realize it
me.
either. And Madonna's older than her by a couple of months.
That's crazy.
So
Okay.
if she had just relaxed a little, she would look, and maybe, the fillers will,
Well,
you know,
she doesn't still look like that. I don't know if she had, because I think the fillers dissolve after a while and you have to keep getting.
okay.
I don't know. I don't get fillers. I don't get like facial stuff. So I don't do Botox or anything like that. So I don't know how it works, but it's not like a one and done. It's a repeat service that you have to keep getting. So that's why like Vivica A. Fox looks crazy because she keeps getting those like weird plumping fillers. And then she's putting on weight too. So that just makes her fillers look too over the top. And even Jada, like her cheek fillers look a little bit too intense too. And I'm always saying, like, I don't care, do whatever you want to do, but you guys have so much money. There must be someone who can do a better job than you looking like you went to cousin TT to get your fillers. Like,
But I think it comes down to you you can't fight aging the way you think you can.
yeah.
So the best thing is to make peace with it.
Lean
Not saying
in.
not saying you have to look old. Like I'm actually thinking about like when I take my braids out, am I gonna dye my hair? Because
Okay.
the gray is in. And I keep going back and forth or whatever, but I had okay, so this just quick little just subject change. So I cut my hair in January and into a pixie, loved it or whatever, but I was not maintaining it. I wasn't like going every week to get it trimmed up. I was, I wanted to grow it out, but also I was dyeing my hair and I've always dyed my hair. But I did this particular dye and it broke my hair off.
So you're saying you were dining at home
I was
yourself?
dyeing it at home. And
Okay.
I've been doing that since I was 17 years old, basically. I go to the hairdresser. Well, anyway, so I would dye it. But there was a particular brand that I bought is Revlon, but it's new. And it was like the blackest of blacks.
Mm-hmm.
But it was too harsh for my hair, so it started to break off, and that was in the month of February, and in like February, March, April, it's still breaking, like 3 months of just really still breaking. So I'm like, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to dye it, I'm just going to let it hopefully, because I'm starting to panic at this point, because
Mm-hmm.
I've never in my lifetime would like rub my hand through my head and hair would come out. Never
Yeah, that's
happened.
scary. That's
Never
scary.
had that ever.
And speaking from someone who has bleached their hair numerous times, like
Mhm.
honestly, I've done the bad stuff. So I know what you
Oh, and
mean,
I
especially
have
with
done worse
trying to do it
too.
at home.
And
Yeah.
I have done at the day before I got married, I dyed my hair 3 times. 3 times because I did a light, and I had went to the hairdresser like 2 days before, so I was fine. But it must have been just like, oh, I'm nerves, and let me just try and do something else. And I'm going to Barbados, so let me lighten it a little and sun in and 3 times.
Not the not the
Girl, I had to
sunning.
sun in too, and then 3 times, and my hair did not break, but I was 20 years old.
Hormones are
Right.
different.
It
These
did
hormones
not
are
break.
different
Did not
now.
break. But this time, 56, it broke. And it was breaking consistently. So anyway, long story short, I put henna in it. So I put henna in it, because I was just like, I don't know, I'm not ready for gray. And then the henna was fine, and then I think it
Hmm.
helped strengthen it as well because the
Yeah.
breakage actually stopped, and then I got it braided. So, but now it's, you can see the gray. It's deep in there.
I honestly love my gray, and I don't really color my hair. I don't color. Let's put it like this: I don't color my hair to cover the gray. I
Hmm.
color my hair if I want like a color. But if
Hmm.
like my, I don't color. I really don't color my grays. I maybe I go over it with a little mascara pencil or something.
Hmm.
But honestly, even when I get my sewing, like my leave out from my weaves, I never color my hair.
Do you have this much gray? I've
I have
never
a,
seen any
I
gray
have
in
a
your hair.
I'm telling you, it's there. And I actually like where, because mine grows in a little bit right here and a little, it's growing in like sexy. So
Uh-huh.
that's why I do the gray and black braids, because I was
I,
like, I'm just leaning into, so I changed it up a little bit today, but I still haven't done, but you probably do have more gray than I do, but
but and mine
I
is
think it
like,
can
I
look
mean,
good.
like you say, this yours comes in here. Mine is just right in here, and then just it just started. I never let it get like this
So my
before.
goal is to have a skunk stripe. So
So
like have like one like nice Cruella Deville, like,
that's how
mm,
it grows in.
how? Well, it's growing in like it, you know how men's hair grows in just
I'm
at the
trying to look now.
some
I
men at the
go gray.
temples, like it'll be a little gray here and a little gray. You can't see it because it's not that much right now. It's
Okay,
all blended in, but I don't, I really don't. And I get, and I'm not shaming any woman that wants to cover their grays, but I think you
because
could
I
even just
cover.
be strategic. You know what I mean? Do a little bit of lightning, like maybe
Mhm.
do a gray in some areas. Like have a stylist who knows what they're doing, amplify the gray and make it look cute. Because here's what I think is the secret sauce of aging is if you can embrace your graying and you have a cute face like you do and you don't look 56 and you got the gray, people are like, how old is this lady? 35 or 55? Like they're not sure. You know what I mean?
I feel gray definitely ages me, but like I said, I'm unsure because I'm saying I might be okay with it now, but we'll see when the braids come out and it's like the whole thing and how
Yeah.
I react to it. Because of course, like now, I mean, I'm trying to grow it back too, so
Hmm.
it's still pretty short, but not pixie short. So I feel like another 6 months or so, I might have a little bit of a bob, and we'll see
The other thing
how I
about
react.
that, the gray, is that it's wiry. So that's the other thing that kind of like annoying about it. If the gray would grow in the same texture as the rest of my hair, that would
Hmm.
be nice. I would appreciate that.
Hmm.
So, but it doesn't. It grows in a little bit wiry. So when you're trying to get it like, straight or flattened, it's kind of a process. But if we're going to take detours, let's take another detour since we're talking about hair. Have you heard about the Gina curl?
No.
So, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many other social media people who are on
Mhm.
socials, this is basically what I call the granddaughter of the Jerry curl and Hawaiian Silky.
Okay, the Gina curl. Should I look it up on Instagram or what?
Please do. Just please
Okay.
search Gina Curl. But it's essentially this process, and it does involve rods. It involves a chemical process, and it makes your hair, it gives African American, like 4C texture hair, it gives you the texture of like a silky, loose curl. So,
This?
no,
That's what came up. Okay.
no. So do like search, is it like if you search hashtags? No, it's not it.
Hashtag Gina curls.
Yeah, try to. So what you'll see a lot of is like hairdressers washing it out and how like bouncy and curly and pretty it looks. But those of us who have been in the trenches in the 70s and 80s who've seen the Jerry curl process are like, sis, this is like just a variation on a Jerry curl. But if it is, it's an improvement. But there's definitely some chemicals involved, and I'm like, we're probably going to be hearing some interesting stories about those chemicals later
Uh,
on.
yeah, I mean, like, okay,
I'm
like,
gonna post.
okay,
I don't know. I'm gonna
yeah,
post, but
these all look like they all say Gina curls.
mm, no, that's not really it. It's a loose, very what I. There's a nice shine to the hair once it's washed and it's got the Gina curl. But one thing they have not seemed to perfect is the edges. The edges don't seem to be cooperating with the rest of the hair.
Hmm.
But it definitely, I mean, it's an interesting look. I think a lot of people are going to lean into it. But what I really wanted to bring up about it is guess how much it costs?
300, $900,
Higher,
$1,200,
lower,
1,000.
1,000 American US greenbacks for this process. And people are taking their children to get this done. I'm like,
Okay,
do
so
we?
this girl is going through the process,
Yes. Going through the
and this is
process of
her.
getting.
Okay, that I mean, I guess she has like the little rollers in her hair. I'm
So
sorry.
what does that comment say? I think that comment right there is probably
Oh, it says oh, it says stop the madness. They're saying it's just a reboot of the Jerry curl. It
it,
says
it, it
only a fool would pay that type of money for Jerry curl. Permanent curls are not permanent. From natural hair back to chemicals to get a different texture.
and what concerns me, and I know we as Black people do so many different things to our hair, or people who have curls that want straight, or people who have straight that want curls. We do a lot of things to our hair, but I'm like, is this where we are right now? Because $1,000, $1,000.
I mean, you're saying no to, but this is it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, and then
That looks like
like
a Jerry. Well, no, it's. I mean,
it's a looser curl. It's very beautiful. Like it is pretty. I'm not denying it, but even me I will spend stupid ass money on stuff. I'm not doing that. That's some plane tickets. That's a mortgage payment.
it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, it does put me in mind of a Jerry curl.
It's a
$1,000.
2024 Jerry
But
curl.
people are taking their young
Yes,
children.
I saw
So
there. It's
young.
all over Instagram. Little kids getting this process done.
Yeah, I mean, if a grown up, if an adult decides to do it, I'm all like, yeah. But I feel like when you start introducing your young children to chemically processed hair, it's tougher to tell them that your hair is pretty as it is out of your own head. So I'm because I go back and forth. Sometimes I like my hair straight, sometimes I like it, in its natural state. I'm always going to like I know people debate on if you color your hair, you can't say it's natural. Well, I'm going to color it. But
But that's like someone saying that having a C-section means that you didn't have natural childbirth, or having an epidural means you didn't have like tomatoes,
yeah,
tomatoes. The
yeah,
baby
yeah.
came out.
Mhm.
Like, no. If I color my hair and it still has the curl pattern I was born with, like don't mince those. Don't dice that up for me. Like
Mhm.
that's crazy. I'm not here to split straws on that one.
Yeah, that's a lot. About yeah, that's a lot. How much was a Jerry curl going for? Like 150 back in the day, right?
Was it that much?
I think it was like 150. Well, I
I
know
wanted one so bad, didn't get one.
when I lived in Mississippi, which was in the 90s, a good friend of mine, she had a Jerry curl and she was paying like 150.
That's a lot of money back then.
It was in the 90s. Yeah.
And I remember my grandmother had one, and I would go with her to the hairdresser, and I would beg every week that she went, like, please, I need this girl.
That
So
was the one hairstyle that I absolutely never wanted.
I
Didn't
wanted
I never even thought it was cute.
the activator bottles. I needed all that because you know what it was about the Jerry curl? That was so it would grow people's hair. I don't know if you
It did.
remember
It
that,
did.
because and what it was the
It's the
moisture.
moisture.
It was
Hmm.
the amount of moisture that our hair, needed. I guess that it doesn't normally get, because we were like doing the alternative hairstyle was always a relaxer. Like
Hmm.
almost no one was natural back
Hmm.
then. So it was either a relaxer or a jerry curl. And so of course the relaxer is stripping. It's stripping, it's stripping. And then if you think about it, so what kind of like triggered me with this Gina curl is that they were like, oh, and then you put the neutralizer on it. I'm like, you're neutralizing what? You're
Yep.
neutralizing the bad chemicals. Like, stay
Hmm.
away. I don't know. I personally will be staying away from that particular hairstyle.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
And I
like
don't care if
that.
it's $30. I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, and that was where I was going to with the dye for my hair. If I do go back to dyeing it, it's definitely going to be it's going to be henna. I
Or
think at
henna,
this
or go to a professional, like a
point,
professional stylist who's like a colorist that can,
I will tell you one thing about me, and I've been this way. I don't like going to the hairdresser. I don't like going to get my nails done. I just whenever I'm there, I'm not at peace. I just
mm,
want to leave. So, I mean, and I will go. You know, I have gone, and I
yeah.
will go, but it's not one of those things that I really do not like to do. And
So
I'll
I
go
took,
through a period where I'll get my nails done every week or every 2 weeks or
yeah,
whatever, and then you see I haven't gotten my nails done in like over a month
I
because I
took
just
my
don't want to
braids
go.
out. I took my braids out Thursday night, knowing I was getting it braided Saturday morning. Girl, when I tell you, I refuse to wash my own hair. Refuse. I was like, I cannot do it. I went Friday, got
Uh-huh.
my hair washed professionally and just washed. She blowed it out. She trimmed it for me. She didn't even press it or anything. I didn't want any of that. But
Hmm.
the aversion I had to washing my own hair, I was like, please, Lord, let somebody else take
Now,
this wheel from me.
if I could have somebody come and do it in my own home, I would do it more often.
I like the being able to recline back. I like the amenities
You
that
know?
they have at the hair
Yeah,
salon.
yeah. I don't know why I don't. I'm just saying it's not just that. It's it's a things that most people consider self care. I don't like it.
And I feel like that self-care is personal.
It
It's
is. That's what I'm
individualized.
saying. Most things that other people consider self care,
Meanwhile, I'm
I don't.
sitting in Joey's chair for 4 3 4 hours getting my nails done because we're talking and
I
kikiing,
can't.
and 2 3 hours minimum have
Mm-hmm.
passed. But that's my girl.
Mm-mm, can't do it, and it's insane. And like there's this woman Jackie who I usually go to get my love going to her, love seeing her every once in a while, but like consistently on a regular basis, cannot do it.
So
Cannot
what
do it.
I like about Yana braiding our hair, and we can
Mm-hmm.
move on, is that she comes to my house. So, like you said, in your house, like, and we'll binge watch a series of whatever, some
Mm-hmm.
show on Netflix or Max, whatever. And we're talking, and we're drinking. My daughter made us some jungle juice Saturday, so we were having our little cocktails, and we were just having a good old time while she was doing my hair. And I didn't have to leave the comfort of my own home. That is like
Mm-hmm.
the
That's what I'm saying.
epitome
I
of
like that
luxury.
part. That's what
I
I
love
like.
that.
If you could come and yeah, and then another thing that is that it's I don't. But when I take these out, I'll probably get it braided again because I'm gonna try and
Mhm.
keep it where I'm not doing anything, but I just want to see, where she's at now. Like if she's feeling stronger, I might put a little henna in it, or I just might just wait. I might just like rock with the gray because I'm looking at it and I'm not as disgusted as I had been like maybe 2 years ago
But
about.
yeah, it probably was. Maybe you had a chemical reaction to that particular
Oh, I
brand.
definitely did. It was something new. It was strong. I knew it was strong. It was just too strong for my and I have very fine hair. So it's you could just like blow on it and it is straighten out. So it's
Have you ever tried Biogen?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, because my that's like my mom's
that's
go
what my
to
mother
when she was like coloring her own
uses.
hair.
But then they
Yeah.
tried something in that one and it irritated her skin
Mm.
really bad some years ago because that was her go-to. And
Yeah.
then she broke out all on her forehead.
Aw.
So she doesn't. So she does henna. My mother, she still does henna. But I've always done henna. I would go through the process. I would do a henna and an indigo treatment. So the henna is usually a red tint, no matter what. If it's pure
Yeah.
henna, you're going to have a red orangey tint. So you would follow it up with the indigo, and the
Mm-hmm.
indigo will make it, black. So I would do that two-step thing for a long time. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, for years. And then I'm like, I got lazy. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go to Clairol to start
Girl.
with that one. But and my hair was always, pretty strong from, the henna or whatever.
But
So I
sometimes even if you start taking medication or anything changes about your
anything.
body's chemistry.
I am what I'm perimenopausal right now. So it
So
could be a whole
speaking
host.
of, I'm getting this like weird, and this may be TMI. I'm getting like these weird rashes under my arms.
Oh,
Who knows why? And my husband's like, it's gotta be your deodorant. I'm like,
it
I
could be
haven't
a deodorant.
I'm using the same, and it's a natural deodorant.
It could
Haven't
still be the deodorant.
haven't changed it. He's like, well, maybe it's the body wash, but nowhere else on my body am I getting this rash and this itchiness. So I'm like, I guess it's a trip to dermatology, but just, it's like weird stuff that
Try
just happens.
changing the deodorant first. And the reason why I say that is because I was using the same deodorant for years. I would use the Harm and Hammer one.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden it started burning. And I'm thinking, oh, it's probably something else. And then I got a little bit of a rash under my arm, and
Yeah.
still thinking it was something else. And I don't have to typically use deodorant like every day. Usually like every
Okay.
3 or 4.
Welcome to the club, because I
uh
don't either.
right. So it's like every 3 to 4 days or something. If it's hotter, I might just go ahead or whatever. So then I stopped using it, and then I went to, I think, a Dove spray, and I haven't had it since. So I feel
I'm gonna
like
try
something,
that.
it could have been something that they changed in your deodorant, because it could be the same, but then they could have changed like one little ingredient.
So I'm gonna tell you why I think it's me, because also I started growing hair under my arms, which I hadn't grown hair under my arms in years.
Oh wow.
So I feel like it's hormones. Like I literally like, and I'm don't hate me, listeners, but I don't shave my legs
I
that
don't
often,
either.
and I don't shave under my arms that often, because literally there will be no hair under my arms. When I say hair started growing, it was like baby fine hair that if you looked under my arms, you couldn't even see it. I knew it was there and I could
Okay.
feel it.
That's
But
so
you
I
know,
don't typically shave under my arms. Maybe like in the summertime, like a couple of times. But my legs, I can go a whole year.
I can't remember the last time I actually shaved my legs. Like
I don't grow
I'm not
hair
a
on my
hairy
legs at
person.
all. Mm-mm.
So I think it may be some kind of hormone situation,
It
because the
could
fact
be.
that I started growing hair. And that's probably what's causing me the rash. My underarms is probably like, oh, it's prickly under here. I don't know. But then I did shave the other day. So we're gonna try a couple of things. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
listeners, like weird stuff happens when you're hitting that
Perimenopausal.
menopause. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
said if I have a miracle baby, a change of life baby, anything can happen at this point. Maybe my eggs will start egging again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He said egging again. Oh my God. Like, I'm like, okay, so yeah, we getting all personal. So the last period I had was last month, right? But before then, it was February. So I thought I was like on the road or whatever. And then it came back last month. Anyway, but let me tell you, if my life gets fucked up by
I'll take your
a
baby.
pregnancy, yeah, you would
Just
have to.
just give me the baby.
You okay? All right. You would have to, because Shahida is not
You can
ever.
come visit. You can have visitation.
I don't even know if I can. I be a deadbeat.
You can't. Well, yeah, I guess you can. It's what
Can
just
I
sign
be
it
a
over.
deadbeat?
Just sign it over to me. I would love a little baby.
I would love somebody else's baby. I just don't want one for mine. For me.
Now, granted, I don't like getting up at night with babies though, in the middle of the night. So that would be my husband's shift.
Mm-mm. Oh my God. Anyway, let's move on. It's Pride Month still.
Go Pride. Go Pride. Y'all still got
Talk about children. So,
7 more days. Another week of Pride.
yeah, another week. So I wanted to bring up Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
and his post on his Instagram. So he was doing a promo for what he thought was going to be for his upcoming comedy special, and they were doing something about Skittles. He was gonna, and so he had all this rainbows kind of stuff, wherever he was. And so there was a photographer there, and he's like, "Oh, let's take some pictures." So it wasn't even specifically for Pride Month, but he said, "Let me take these pictures and put them up on my Instagram in solidarity with." I mean, he has a non-binary female child, and in solidarity with that child plus his friends. He's like, "Look, I've been in Hollywood since I was a kid. Of course I know a whole bunch of gay, lesbian, bisexual people. That's part of the business." And he's like, "And
Mm-hmm.
I've always respected them. They've always respected me, blah blah." The amount of hate he got when he put up that picture and it was like, happy Pride Month, people were telling he was a failure as a father. He lost 10,000 followers in one day, he said.
And
And
you
he
know what? Good riddance. I mean,
That's what he
I
said.
would, goodbye. See you later.
But my
Because
thing is, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
let
ahead.
no, I'm just saying, let that man live. Like, anyone who supports their child in a positive, constructive way, especially when their child has a struggle ahead of them because of whatever reason, disability, their sexuality, their race or gender, whatever. If any parent who supports their child in a constructive, positive way, I'm here for it.
But my thing, me too. Why do people have to be so nasty? Like I always say, it has been an evolution. You think from the time like the 70s and how people treated, gay and transvestite people, it was horrible. You can't say that you are a Christian person or you believe in God and spew the hate that you have for people who are minding their business and living life the way they choose. They're not enforcing it on you, but you are trying to enforce your way of life on them. To
Right.
me, it's more so the hatefulness, the absolute nastiness that people feel that in order to convert you back to their way of believing, that they have to torture you with slurs, anger, and violence.
Right.
Where is your humanity in this situation?
People
You
are
can be
just, they're
upset with
wicked.
people. You can, and you know what? You could easily be like, "Oh, he supports something I don't. I'm just gonna unfollow." But you choose to be hateful. Where is the God in that?
Right.
Whether you believe that your book or your religion promotes that or not, where is the God like behavior?
And people are saying, well, what do kids know about this? These kids are too young and the parents are just letting them. A lot of people have self-awareness at a very young age. A very young age. Like, I feel like as young as kindergarten, I knew I was like a heterosexual female. Like, I knew that in all my fibers since I was like probably 3 or 4 years old. I knew I liked boys when I was 4 years old. Like, I just knew that was me, and then that's how I felt. And some people are saying, like, as young as that age, they felt the opposite of what they were
Mhm.
born assigned at birth. Or they feel like, they've evolved. And so, some people are of the mindset that this stuff is taught or it's chosen. People who should know because it's they're living this lifestyle are saying, no, I was born like this. This is how I was born. Who am I to tell you how you were born? Or how you feel about yourself? I know I feel about myself, but that doesn't mean you feel that way about yourself. And it's just, and I get it that people are saying like sometimes parents impose things on their children, or they don't guide their children. I guess that's kind of thing they're trying to say, is they're not guiding their children in the direction that they should go in. Like, you should steer them towards their assigned gender at birth. But if your child is telling you, like, listen, I practically want to kill myself because I don't feel I was born in the right body, do you turn your back on that? Do you say, no, you're mistaken? Like, that's really deep. That's deep. You have to respect that. And I don't know how old is Wayne's kid?
Oh,
But
definitely. I mean, her pronouns are he, so he is probably like 17. So they're not
okay.
like a little kid. So this is something that they came to terms with, kind of like it could have been earlier, but this is when they decide to come out and say this is what they are or
So
whatever.
are
So he's
they trans or non-binary?
non-binary, female is what he says.
Okay. So okay. I gotta do my research on that
Yeah, I
because I
have to do
thought
some.
non-binary was neither male nor female.
So maybe in his description to, because I'm reading this in the Hollywood Reporter, maybe his description was non-binary female, so you would know that
Assigned
it
female at
was,
birth,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So maybe that was the case, but
But you
he,
know what's funny? I was trying to buy plane tickets earlier today, and so I'm going on a thing doing the whole JetBlue, and JetBlue's like asking for the information about the people who are going to be flying. And one of the questions they're asking is male or female. Why do you need to know that, JetBlue?
mm,
What are you doing with that information? Take my credit card, take my address, take my name, take my points rewards, make sure I get my points, and give me a seat to sit in. You're not feeding me, okay? You're barely giving me something to drink. Okay, see, even the thumbs up. Why do you need to know if I'm a male or female and there's no other option to choose?
mm.
And my daughter
This
was
has
saying,
always been
well,
the case, man. No,
I don't remember. And my daughter was saying maybe
I
it's for
feel like that's
she's
always been the case.
my daughter said maybe it's for security purposes. And I'm saying, but what difference would it make? If I say I'm Tracy and my driver's license says I'm Tracy and I show up and I act a fool, does it matter if I marked that I was male or female? Like, who cares? Why is that information necessary? I really need to know. Maybe someone who works from an airline can tell me why that information is important.
Mm. And I feel like that is common on when you buy tickets online.
I don't remember that. And maybe it's just because I've always been, all our lives we've been filling out forms. African American, female, like they ask us so many
Yeah.
questions. But to me it almost felt like, why didn't they just ask me my race too? Why is it important if I'm a male or a female buying this plane ticket?
Maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm getting confused, like you said, with all the other things we have to fill out. So
I just don't understand what the relevance of that is anymore.
I don't know. The point is, be nice to people.
Be
We are
nice to
running. Be
people.
nice to
And
people.
if you're gonna hate on Marlon Wayans, hate on him for other reasons because he does a lot of dick shit. That is not this. This is actually one of the things that's actually making me respect him a little bit more
Said a lot of
because he does other things that get on my nerves a
shit.
lot.
Hmm.
Because he can be very disrespectful sometimes when he's talking to other his peers in the industry.
Oh, really?
He particularly disrespected Tiffany Haddish once when she was hosting the Ellen show and he was a guest. And she said, I hate when I go out for roles and they'll even say in the role, we want a Tiffany Haddish type.
Hmm.
And she'll audition and not get the part for a
That's a
type.
Tiffany Haddish
Right.
type.
And you know what he said about that? He
What?
said, that's because you're too extra. You're too much. And I
Oh yeah,
didn't
I
like
think I
that.
remember. I
I
think I.
did not like that. I'm like, don't do that to that woman. She's so extra that there's a type that they're looking for that they want that's just like her. And you're telling her she's not good enough to be herself. That's bullshit right there. So that pissed me off with him. But I do like that he's supporting his child. And they also have a niece, Shantae Wayans,
Hmm.
who is openly gay.
She
And
is.
I think it's beautiful that, he's supportive in
Mm-hmm.
that way. There was actually something one day and they were like, who's the finest weigh-ins? And it
Mm-hmm.
had Keenan and it had Marlon and Sean. And I posted in the bottom, I was like, Shantae is the finest.
Oh my
But I
God.
do love
I don't
Sean. I
know.
think Sean is cute.
I always thought, which one was in Low Down Dirty Shane? What was that?
Keenan.
Keenan. I thought he
Oh,
was
and Damon. Damon's always been really good looking too.
dating. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, and our time is about up. But I just want to
Yes.
mention one thing before we go, that the Providence Library downtown is opening they had a soft opening of CHOP. It's called the Culinary Hub of Providence, and it's in the library, and it's for training for future chefs and cooks. And their soft opening, I kept missing it by like 15 minutes, but I was able to get like a drink or something. But that they're supposed to open up like next month. And so if you're down in that area, you have to check it out, because when I say it is a beautiful space, it reminds you of like some of like the library cafes that you see out of the country, like in Europe, in Sweden, or something place like that. So, and I don't see that in any other big library here in the United States. So, Providence is really like, on top of things and doing some extraordinary, unique things with, within the city. And that's one of them. It's called CHOP, Providence CHOP, Culinary Hub of Providence. So that's
And that's
coming
the
to
main library in downtown
the main
Providence.
library, downtown Providence.
Can I get the invite? Nobody, you missed it by 15 minutes. You didn't invite me down.
Both days, girl.
That's because you didn't bring me.
Because you know what? Because my sucker ass has to work downtown. You work from home.
I could saunter down during the lunch hour.
And that's why I missed it, because I was just like at work. And I'm like, oh, damn. And run up there. And it's like, we stopped at 1 o'clock. I'm like,
I
God.
definitely want to check that out. The other thing that's happening this weekend in Providence at the Southside Culture Center is Culture Fest. It's
Ultra
happening
fast.
from June 28th to the 30th, and it's just a celebration of culture. And it sounds like it's going to be amazing. There are going to be vendor tables out there. So, shout out to Lauren, who I also met at Taste of Juneteenth. I found out about the event from her, and there are many more things coming from that group down the pike. So it should be exciting. Anyone who's going to go, please let us know. Shoot us an email, littlestateBigVoices@gmail.com, or comment on our Instagram, which is also at Little State Big Voices. We're also on Spotify. We are on YouTube, TikTok while it lasts. We're all over.
No, I know I haven't heard anything new from TikTok. But I'm going to say that I'm going to try and go, because it's, for the weekend. I'm definitely going to try and go. But Providence doesn't want us to have money, because this summer already we only a couple of weeks in, and I feel like they taking all my money.
I spent buku cash at the Taste of Juneteenth, buying all these butters and spices and supporting
And
the.
they were the same people yesterday. I'm pretty sure they were the
But
same
I love that for
vendors.
them. And you know
Mhm.
what the guy said real quick before we go, the cashew, the gentleman with the cashews,
Which is
and I'll
crazy.
post his brand. He said that he's from Grove Hall in Dorchester. Well, that's where his business is based out of. He said he gets the best reception when he does events in
I
Providence.
believe it. I
And that's why
believe
he
it.
keeps coming.
I believe it. I believe it. I mean, people keep saying, I know they keep saying inflation, 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 but people be out in these streets and people be
Oh,
out
they're spending
buying
the mall
tickets,
stays packed.
buying shea butters and sea moss and everything, and food on top of food on
Ain't no
top of
parking
food.
spaces. There's no parking spaces.
So
Everyone's outside.
everybody's outside. There you go. I'm loving it, because you know what? That's what the summer's here for. Before you know it, we'd be locked up in the house, and I'll be loving that too, because I love the winter too. Anyway, but until next time,
Until then.
we'll see you next week.